So with all the protests that are going on in different colleges, okay, here's some numbers that came out. Columbia University, more than 100 protests and arrests. Yale, over 50 arrests, okay? Princeton, 2 students, graduate students arrested. Harvard told students not to come back. I think they closed it down throughout the weekend. Friday, students have been protesting and setting up tents. In Northwestern University, George Washington University, UCLA, hundreds of students setting up tents at the school. Then you have police arrest 100 people at Northeastern University in Boston, Indiana University, Ohio University, 30 students arrested. Emory University, 28 students arrested. Emerson College, over 100 people arrested. USC, 93 demonstrators arrested. University of Texas, 50 protesters arrested. NYU, 100 students arrested and 20 professors arrested in NYU. Then an article comes out, I believe it's with New York Post. George Soros is paying left-wing activists to head up camp outs at college across country as huge wads of cash. They're getting paid. So then I'm looking at this article, and it shows Open Society Foundation records show Soros grant-making network gave $13.7 million of the money through Tides Center. Okay, and Tides Foundation has given millions to organizations who have organized pro-Palestinian protests, according to Capital Research Center. $650,000 to Jewish Voice for Peace, $710 to Adalah Justice Project, a pro-Palestinian group, another $86 to If Not Now, $38,000 to Progressive Center for Constitutional Rights, $600,000 to Mass Liberation Project, $132,000 to Westpac. This keeps going on. Society Foundation, Open Society Foundation gave $700,000 education for just peace in the Middle East since 2018. Rockefeller gave another $515,000. And then if you look at this now, U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights received Soros money and paid students, youth fellows. They received stipends of $2,880 to $3,360 for a 3-month term of roughly 8 hours a week and $7,800 for community-based fellows. 1, what do you think about Soros? 2, why would a Hungarian Jew support all of these protests, pro-Palestinian protests?
Well, if you remember what revolution who was created too, Soviet Revolution in 1917 was, and Marxist revolution was actually created by a lot of, Jews, Marxists, from Europe. And, this is Marxian ideologies, unfortunately, it's been very effective. And we should not underestimate that.
He's a billionaire, though. George Soros is a billionaire.
But listen, there is a lot of billionaires with agenda that believe that our country is not, what they want it to be. There are a lot of, if I look at what's happening in our country, I hate to tell you, we are moving closer to socialism and Marxists. In some ways, they're even worse than being in Soviet Union. Some of the things that I observed.
Somebody could say, how could you say that?
I'll tell you something, because I think what happened in college campuses, there was probably more freedom than and less intimidation during Soviet Union time, even to say that what's happened in our college is a pure intimidation. Wow. It's a pure intimidation.
You didn't have this kind of intimidation?
No, that was not even that. It wasn't really, this is a level of intimidation with violence that is truly Marxist view of that. Even like in all the times of Soviet Union, they didn't have as much aggression. That's maybe happened in 1917, after the revolution, they were tried to intimidate everyone. That's how they tried to instill this. But this is really class warfare, religious warfare, race warfare. It's truly Marxist 101. That's how you're going to destabilize the country from within. And that's how you're going to use this to propaganda. And it's becoming much more dangerous even now because there is so much data collection on people and access. You actually, for China right now, or Russia, to access us within the country, destabilize, they don't have to enter the country. They can do it from outside through bots, social media, through all of this organizing. And we still cannot protect privacy and data of Americans. I think this is Congress. I think this is our duty, and we're not doing that. And I think that's critical. But we have a lot of money, and I think Soros and Obama, they were brilliant to use money. to promote agenda and destabilize the country, because when you destabilize the country and turn into mob rule, which we're becoming into mob rule. I mean, listen, I always kind of say, I lived in mob rule as long as, I have lots of guns and ammunition. I survived that. I'm not sure if Americans want to have it, but I'm ready for it. I don't think we want to go there, but what's happening on the border, what cartels are doing in our country, what happened in our cities with fentanyl, which actually sold majority was by China and Mexican cartels, that pretty much control the border. We don't even have control of our own border. What is happening right now is all of the way we turn the country into mob rule. We try to put people against each other within, college campuses, and young people are very easy to brainwash. And now, it's unbelievable that you actually, I had some interns, Jewish interns from, in my office from colleges, they truly intimidated. They're afraid to be in college campuses. I mean, truly afraid. It's a coercion, intimidation into power, control, and in opinion. This is really done through very violent ways to do that.
What makes college deans and presidents, what makes them think this is a good idea to push the other side of students out who don't feel safe? What kind of a business model is that?
I think they're afraid. A lot of them are afraid.
Even the presidents are
I think
afraid.
A lot of them are
what
afraid.
Are they afraid of?
They're afraid of very radical people. I mean, truly. It's interesting. I talked to some academia in one of the major colleges that I actually know them, and we had a conversation actually, for Jewish heritage, and I said, you've been tenured academia for such a long time. I mean, couldn't you do something about your administration and try to put pressure on them? And this is unbelievable that it's happening right now in the top institutions in our country. I mean, it's all, and they said, well, we tried, they're not agreeing, and we were actually even offered to have a class on debating different opinions, and they're afraid. They're afraid to approve even courses where colleges should be like debates, deliberation of ideas. It's okay if you believe in Marxists and I believe in Friedman and Hayek and Smith. Let's just deliberate. Let's have healthy conversation. Don't intimidate and coerce me. And they are afraid. So there are some of them, they're getting paid, by a lot of liberal money to promote agenda, because we have a lot of media now that paid by organizations for Soros to write hit pieces and articles. And I mean, I'm glad that Trump exists. Otherwise, they would be just writing about me. I'm joking, but they write so much crap about me. I hate that. But I think, Trump makes me feel better because no one is doing so much as to him, so he gets much more heat. But
you ever met him? Have you ever met him?
No, I haven't. I haven't met Soros. I haven't.
And amongst your colleagues and peers, how often does he come up, name-wise?
He comes up a lot, and I think, and I think he promoted a lot of him, kind of getting this Obama people.
How many Congress people does he own?
Well, I don't know what he owns or not, but I think he pretty much owned radical wing of Democrat Party that took over that party. The big money, he owns them. I'll tell you, the big money, because a lot of these people, there are some Democrats probably would be normal people, but they're afraid of big money. I had some Democrats, honest Democrat, he says, Victoria, I cannot survive 5 million primary. And if you're going to go in against the grain, you'll have a 5 million primary. Actually, facing similar things, so hopefully I can survive mine. But, you go against your party, you might have big money coming at you, and it's very difficult if you're an honest person, So some of these Democrats are intimidated. And then they try to elect, very radical people. So they were able to elect very radical people in their party. That's the majority of their party. And if anyone tried to go against it, they'll put big money.
So he funds the big radicals. He
funds the Democrat Party.
Does he find them, place them, or do they go in and then he sees how radical they are, then he funds them?
No. They place them. They primary. And if anyone is going to stick their neck out and actually say something that is not going to go in line or vote not in line, they will primary and take you out. And I actually know from one congressman, Democrat, because, he says that the only reason he survived is just because a lot of people knew him, but they all go in line.
Do you think there's going to be a Black Swan event in 2024?
Listen, I think in some ways, I think
for election is what I'm asking about.
I understand what you're saying,
yeah.
But I think Republicans, we had time to regroup, okay? And I think we need to be smarter. We had time. So I hope Republicans and American people are waking up. So I think it will be hard, for Democrats, to do what they did in 2020. But I think we can never underestimate our opposition and their desire at power, to take power at any cost, in any way. So we just have to get better. We just have to become smarter. And I hope we have a better people this year running, the campaigns and what's going to happen, because I've seen what they were doing in 2020.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.